AI Johnny, another Hidden Gems AI episode today. We're looking into
It seems
Relume.
like every episode's a hidden gem, brother.
I know. It's crazy actually how these AI tools are popping up, and we actually have some huge news at the end of the show. Everybody wants to find out some predictions from Sam Altman, the co-founder of OpenAI,
Oh,
ChatGPT.
he's in the prediction business now.
Yeah.
How would he know?
Yeah, what would he know, right? Exactly.
He's got access to some stuff, but he doesn't have access to everything. And Elon Musk is the one that put him where he is.
Yeah.
And then they screwed him over. Oh man, more trouble. Are we starting over?
No, we're in it. This is it. Here we go, guys.
Okay.
Welcome to Season 10 of Airhead Institute, your 45-minute AI power-up at noon Eastern. This month, we are broadcasting live across all the socials and Zoom. If you're new here, join our free AI community to grow alongside other curious minds and give your kids a head start by enrolling them in the Airhead After School program. Here's March's weekly lineup. Mondays, we take the training wheels off securely in the Open Claw Bootcamp. Tuesdays, we explore bleeding-edge tools from Google Labs in Gemini Hidden AI apps. Wednesdays, we equip the next generation in AI Gateway to College. Thursdays, we uncover productivity and marketing tools in Hidden AI Gems, Starters. Fridays, we explore human purpose in an automated society in Humanity 2.0, No Jobs Edition. We're making AI practical, powerful, and accessible for everyone. No tech background? No problem. Whether you're a student, professional, or lifelong learner, just show up. Guided by your hosts, AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're keeping it bold, brainy, and built for real-world impact. AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind.
Welcome back to Season 10 of Airhead Institute. Today is Episode 3 of Hidden AI Gems. What if the agonizing hours or weeks spent staring at a blank canvas, endlessly dragging one stubborn box around for an About Us section could vanish in just seconds? Right now, AI is quietly obliterating the slowest, most painful part of web page design. Today's Hidden AI Gem compresses the entire planning marathons, sitemaps, wireframe, structure, copy into literal moments. No more paralysis, just brutal speed and clarity that actually ships work. Grab the link I'm dropping, limune.io. Follow along live. Speaking of chaos, I walked in this morning and caught, guess who? AI Junior building a 50-page empire for his pet rock with strings and sticky notes, muttering about neural networks for gravel. Yeah, he's the only one who truly gets what's coming next. Take it away, AI Junior.
AI Johnny loved that. It was actually a generative adversarial network, and Rocky needs a digital presence. Welcome, everyone. This is Immersive Class. Just like if you were dropped into a random country, you wouldn't speak the language the first day, but you pick up a word here or there for the first week or two, and before you know it, you're fully fluent. Anyway, just show up every day, and just like that country in AI, and you'll be speaking AI like a pro. If you're on Zoom, unmute and ask your questions real times. If you're on socials, there's a 30-second delay, so type your question in early. We're not ignoring you. We are in week 3 of our Hidden Gems series, focusing on highly clippable productivity and marketing tools you absolutely need to be aware of. Today is a review show. Adrian, Rita, thanks for joining. I do see you in the actual Zoom chat. AI Johnny, take it away.
Let's see, brother. Are we doing the WoW today?
2B, we're at 2B.
To be, before we even touched the software today, we went straight to our official large language model of the month, Google Gemini. We like to consult our inner circle before bringing anything to you guys, so we asked the large language model of the month, what is the single most mind-blowing fact about Relume right now? Junior?
Yeah, so Gemini analyzed the landscape and found out a staggering stat. Agencies and freelancers are reporting that they spend about 90% less time building the foundation of websites from scratch. They are using an input prompt to instantly generate an entire architectural sitemap and structure in a single click, completely bypassing the blank canvas phase.
90% less time. That's a pretty bold claim, AI Junior. What do you say we fire up the screen and see if Gemini is right about that?
All right, so let's check this out, guys. So we actually have Relume on the screen here. Yeah, Johnny, how's the font size? Can you actually see?
It's pretty gigantic.
All right, love it. So we're at Relume. I dropped it as AI Johnny mentioned in the chat if you want to follow along. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 30-second, we're just going to take a prompt. I'm going to create a site in about 30 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this prompt, create a website for a high school. Let me go over here. All right, so I have a new project, and this new project itself, I know this is probably a little bit tiny for you guys to see, but let me make it a little bit bigger. So it's create a 5-page website structure for a high school AI after school AI club. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it to about 2 to 5 pages, and then we're just gonna go ahead and generate. Okay. All right, so what this is actually going to be doing behind the scenes is actually going to be creating, the first thing is a structure and a sitemap of the actual site, what it should look like. So if you see here, it actually says I'm going to need a nav bar on the home section. I need a hero section. I need a features list section, stats section, testimonial, call to action, new newsletter section, FAQs, footer, and then the footer, if you can see, let me move this away. It actually generated, on each of the actual sections, it generated a blog, projects, all those things, and it keeps on going because this is what's called a sitemap. Now, this is not only the most impressive part about generating a sitemap, it actually takes it one step further and takes the sitemap for the structure of how the user is going to flow from each portion, and it gives you the ability to have a wireframe. Now, this is the wireframe of the entire website that was just created for one little 5-page website. So you can see here, the structure is actually being built while we're waiting. So we actually see it's building out the wireframe of the hero, the home page, what it actually looks when you scroll down, what the other, pages itself when you navigate, what the wireframes looks like, and the placement of them. Let's zoom in a little bit on this AI, Johnny, while it's actually building. Zoom in a little bit more. Now, again, if you're on a mobile device, this is going to be really, really hard for you to see. So I apologize. But if you, I'm actually zooming as much as possible. So this is what their homepage wireframe would look like. And as you can see, build a future with artificial intelligence. It has a placeholder for copy. It has a call to action itself. If you scroll down, it tells you what needs to actually be on the page. And all of that itself, it's starting structurally from a sitemap, generate the wireframe. And guess what? It even does more. You can actually go over to the style guide and say, I want to pick my colors. And once I pick my colors, I can say, hey, I like this color. We're going to leave those colors. And you go on to the design phase. When you go onto the design phase, you actually get a realistic style. Let's zoom in a little bit more. It's still generating the design, so just give it a moment to actually render. So you can see here, it actually built out and filled in some placeholder images. So you can actually have your website. Now, this is not only just one thing, it's actually 5 pages that's structurally sound. All the pieces itself comes together, and it actually figures out what needs to get done. It's trained on websites, so it actually knows what the click-through ratios are on really, really well-designed websites, what the structure should be, and this is actually what the project Relume is all about. What do you guys think? Yeah, Johnny?
Well, I think we as website developers, all of us, have some choices now, don't we?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I like about this. I'll tell you what I like about this choice. It builds the entire website for you, and it shows you step by step how humans used to create websites.
Yep.
Right? You used to have to come up with those boxes that were the sitemap, if you will. You used to have to come up with a wireframe so that you knew which site, which page in your thing went from what page to what page. You used to have to go into a style guide. You used to had to accent it with designs. And so by doing it this way, you're actually teaching yourself a little bit more about what your website has. Now, you and I both know we can go to an OpenClaw or a Claude Code and just say develop a website and make it look like the site of my nearest competitor, and it'll do all this stuff. But you won't know what happened. So it's a neat tool to have. And it's also a neat tool when it comes to making changes. This is a really good tool, especially if you plan to host it yourself, right? Or host it up on American or Amazon Web Services or Bluehost or one of those. Ocean, I think Eric uses it from time to time. It's pretty cool. Is this AI?
Yeah, this is all AI generating the sitemap, wireframe, style guide, and all the way to design.
So it's the first comprehensive website development AI tool I've seen. Have you seen another?
No, this is the first one I've seen, and this is why we love these hidden AI gems episode, is because we ourselves don't know all the actual applications that are actually coming out and what are available, and we get to explore it a little bit, and we gives you guys a little bit of taste, a starter, if you will, of what is available on the market. Now, I do know we have some technical people in the call. I see Adrian, Mr. Camillo, thanks for joining. I see Shauna. So what happens is, if you actually have a requirement to build a website, you may not necessarily have the technical expertise. So I do understand the need for, being able to design the website structurally from just a prompt. So this is a huge, huge, huge win for the actual movement in the direction of where we're going. And the good thing is it doesn't miss anything. It's trained itself on websites that actually convert. I do like this approach. All right, yeah, Johnny.
So it looks like it built the home, the about, the team, the events, the contact pages, and what did it take? Less than 10 seconds? 3 seconds?
Yeah, less than. Exactly.
It's actually generating the unstyled layout components and real placeholder copy for the robotics club, not just a generic. You ever get one of those sites where it has the lorem ipsum pages?
Yep.
It actually makes it readable, so it doesn't look like garbage.
Yep.
So, I mean, it saved hours of agonizing client back and forth in seconds. So, of course, you would use this if you needed to develop a website. I wouldn't. So, when you go to your Facebook page, you don't have the ability to have a wireframe, right?
Unfortunately, not.
Maybe this will be a new thing in social media. Because as soon as I saw it, I thought, okay, all web developers are obsolete. Anybody can develop their own website, right? Any school can develop one for their team, for their faculty, for their staff, merge them all together into one. But any person could have their own personal website, which is what a Facebook or a MySpace or a Instagram is. So if those guys don't want to become obsolete, where everybody's just taking control of their own and it's all linking together at some master network, having the ability to do wireframes inside of a social network might be a cool thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm shooting from the hip here, brother.
Yep. No, that's awesome. So just want to let you guys know the good thing about this is that you don't have to think about the things that you're missing, right? We're going to get into all the nice pros and cons. Rita, I see a thumbs up. Thank you for that. So the thing is, we don't want to necessarily have people not have to figure out what's missing. So this actually is a comprehensive thing that actually catches all the things that actually may be missing for those sites that are out there. All right, so check this out, guys. Yeah, Johnny, let's go to the word of the day, because if we get to the word of the day, we talk about wireframe. What is the word of the day today?
Yeah, let's use wireframe as the word of the day. We keep dropping it. I don't know if everybody knows what it is. So let's see. By definition, it is a two-dimensional skeletal outline of a web page or application used to establish the basic structure, layout, and functionality before any visual design or colors are added. So it truly is a blueprint or a skeleton.
Exactly. And the reason why this matters is that Relume isn't just drawing pretty pictures. It's actually pulling in the massive component library to construct this wireframe. So when the AI actually places a hero section on the screen, it's actually placing a functional coded block that can be instantly used, saving you from having to code the variables yourself. It's literally automating the wireframing phase. And if you're in software development, this used to be painfully annoying, where you actually have to move boxes around. It's usually left for a designer. But sometimes you have to actually get in the software development phase to say this needs to get there. So this doing it automatically with AI is actually pure genius. So AI Jenny, let's get to the killer features.
Okay. Let's talk about the superpowers, brother.
Yep.
What's great about it? You want me to get into the massive library export?
Of course.
The biggest pro is that it exports directly to Figma, Webflow, and React. You aren't just getting an image output, you are getting the actual code and the auto layout structures, which is it's a big problem with AI, right?
Exactly.
AI does something for you, you're done. What is that? Zero shot? And then if you want to do it again, you got to start from scratch.
Yeah. So the good thing about this is you actually get the code, and like AI Johnny mentioned, in most of these AI systems that you use, you don't usually get the code. So if you're generating, say for example, an image in Nana Banana, or you're generating a video in Sora, wherever you're generating, you actually don't have the source code to regenerate and change those things. So the problem that AI has is that you get an great output, but you don't have a great way to modify it. So you're kind of stuck with whatever the output was. So as AI Johnny mentioned, when this system itself gives you the actual code and layout, you can go in, and if you know what you're doing, you can go ahead and change and make tweaks as you want. And you can actually go back and say, I don't like this the way it is. So it's a huge win. And I really like Relume for this actual feature. What else they have, AI Johnny?
It does a thing called generative copy, which uses a powerful model to generate relevant text based on your prompt. So if on the outside chance you ask for something like, say, a robotics club, you get text about engineering and competitions, which helps clients visualize the final product better. So it's customized and personalized.
Yeah, and this is actually pretty big. Normally, like Johnny said earlier, if you ever seen, behind the scenes of how websites were built, you get that lorem ipsilon, whatever phrase that's, you get a lot of words that just fill in, and you have to go get a copywriter to go fill in the actual text. So this is doing everything for you without even thinking about it, which is amazing.
So I've hired web developers before. And they say, how much? And they go, $1,000. And I go, for the whole site? And they go, well, up to 9 pages. Or I go, well, what if it's more than 9 pages? They go, well, it's $300 a page after that. But I've never once had a developer come to me and say, well, we put a little thought into what you're going to do. We estimate it's going to be 16 pages. Here's a sitemap. Here's the wireframe, and showed me what it is, and then told me we're going to build all this and color it all out and so on. So the idea that this product has a sitemap generation where you can map out the entire tree of a massive website visually before generating a single page, it'll align the whole team instantly. But also, I believe that this tool, for obvious reasons, is going to be used by website developers as well, because the sitemap generation is something you can use in the sales process.
You're absolutely right. What people don't realize is that sometimes they don't know the whole flow of things, how it gets done. And a sitemap, what it does is it actually brings the entire site under like a tree-like structure. So you can say that this page should navigate to that page, that should work to that flow. And you actually visually get to see how the user's journey, which is a really important part of website flow management, is the user journey is really important. And being able to start from a sitemap as the first part and visually plan how you want your user to go through is very important. And I want to give Relume here another big plus. I'm really loving this tool.
Free tiers, the free tier access, you can actually start using it to generate your first project completely for free, which is amazing. It's an amazing way to seed your business when you're trying to get it started, right? So this is actually not just used for websites, but it's used for kind of organizing what your business is going to be.
Exactly.
Very cool.
I do like that, yeah, Johnny. All right, so now we have to actually get to the...
Okay. Yeah, let's get real. Nothing's perfect. So you played around with it. Where does it fall apart?
All right. So one thing we try to do is we do have our own sitemap here at Airhead Institute. So I want to show you what a sitemap looks like. And this is what Airhead Institute sitemap looks like. Now, again, if you're not technical, this may look a little funny. It's actually an XML, document that actually has all the information of how our site is actually pieced together and all the content and metadata. Now, what happens is this sitemap itself, you would expect that you can actually take that metadata and then throw it into a site like Relume. So they do support sitemaps. But what happened is when I did go to Relume and actually say, here's my sitemap, they said, I'm sorry, I can't process your site. So it actually got a big error message saying importing sitemap couldn't decrypt the SSL certificate issue, claiming that the certificate might not be trusted, and told me that, to join a Slack group for help. I know what actually is probably going on. The sitemap is probably either too big or they actually have features in there that they don't support. So they just automatically block it because there's actually a standard SSL certificate issued by Cloudflare. So it's not like it's something that's out of the ordinary. So their error message was kind of erroneous there. The other thing is, Jenny, you have any thoughts on that?
Import failures?
Yeah.
I don't know, brother. I mean, that's the difference between you and me, man. I would go in from scratch and say, let's build this thing. Let's not use something that I built somewhere else and try to, mix apples and oranges. But I get it. If you've got a lot of time invested in something else, you don't want that time to go away. And the import failure is a big thing. My hallucination is that this is a relatively new product, being that it's the first time we've ever seen it, and that in future versions it will be able to import stuff better. Also, handle that it couldn't do the SSL certificate better. I would have said, okay, well, let's put that aside. Let's build the whole website without that, and then show them the finished website, and then report that, hey, a few things that we need to talk about. Your SSL certificate and so on. I wouldn't just say there was one little problem and go to Slack. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's going to cost yourself a customer with that.
Yeah, you're right. We do see Adrian actually have a question in the chat. I'll actually bring that up. So Adrian actually asking, does it support collaboration? Yes, Adrian. So on their website, I will drop it again. Let me go over to Relume. So what they have on their main website itself, it actually has, you see here, you see Mario, you see Jessica. So they're actually pushing a lot of collaborative features that if you have multiple people working on the same exact website or needs to actually provide feedback, they do provide that as well. It is in a higher tier. So yes, they do have all of those collaboration features that you come to expect from tools like Figma. I've used Figma for probably maybe 5 years, and I do love Figma. So if you're loving Figma and how it works, this is a really great tool to actually play around with as well. All right, so Adrian, hopefully I answered that question. Now, this is the part that is actually the other con. Yeah, Johnny, let's talk about this next con, because this con is actually pretty huge, and it's either going to make or break for some people. So, yeah, Johnny, what is the next con?
Web apps. It looks like it doesn't work for web apps. The components are heavily geared towards marketing websites and landing pages. You try to build a complex software as a service dashboard or a mobile app interface, you'll hit some walls very quickly.
Yeah, so I will explain a little bit to let people understand the difference. So what happens is you usually have marketing websites, and then the marketing websites usually want to funnel people into a web app, right? So what happens is you then have usually these applications itself are very integrated. So if you go to a site like Apple, or if you go to a site like Samsung, wherever you go, or Best Buys, you're not only just going to their marketing website, you're also going to their point of sale. Like you can actually buy laptops from Apple. You can do everything in there. Now, what happens is when you're starting out, sometimes you actually don't have the feasibility to build everything at the same time. So you have to actually either say to yourself, do I need just a marketing website, or do I need a web app? If your website itself does not require a web app, where your customers do not interact with you at all, you can use Relume alone and actually solve the problem of it's just a marketing site. They're probably going to pick up the phone, call you. But the moment you start to integrate and turn it into a web app where the user needs to interact and say, I want to be able to chat, or I want to play my credit card, this Relume itself is not for that purposes. But there are workarounds we can actually do. And AI Johnny and I were going to explore possibilities of how you can work around this kind of bridge. Because I do really like where they're going with this specific flow. Hey, Johnny, what do you think about that?
So what you're saying is that it's really good for the marketing, but it's not good for a functional website of the FedEx package tracking system or the Airhead Institute community ecosystem.
Yeah.
What about the idea? There's a group out there, AI surfers. They have a marketing website at AI surfers, and then they have a customer area in a thing called school, which we may one day look at. But and so they keep all their software as a service on one website, and they're marketing on another website. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so being not together is a huge problem for your customer journey. So customers do not want to go to another website, do not want to actually interact with. So customers usually like this, unified experience where they're actually flowing their user journey very easily. So if you actually look at their marketing website for Relume, right, it actually says it's for marketing websites. So they actually are telling you that don't use this for web apps. But the thing is, you can have workarounds to make it for if you want to tightly integrate. So if you're trying to do, something that's only just for marketing, this is a great resource. If you're trying to do it for web apps, it's not actually a good resource. So again, lots of workarounds out there, lots of things you can actually try to solve. So let's get to the other one. Is the other con that we actually have is
I've got two more: cookie cutters and exports. But let's do the cookie cutter risk because it's so easy to drag and drop these blocks. If you don't apply custom CSS or styling afterwards, your website will look exactly like everyone else's using Relume. Adrian, you want to talk on that? I'm just kidding.
all right. I see Shauna actually mentioning looking good from Facebook, guys. Another great AI class. Love it. Oh, thanks, Shauna. I think Shauna's coming in from the live stream there. All right. So yeah. So what's the next one? AI Johnny.
Export quirks. While the export does exist, some users report that if you customize the parameters heavily in Figma, using the Figma to Webflow plugin can break the auto layout, requiring manual fixing. So it's expected to have some plugs, especially when it's interfacing with other software that they didn't even write.
Definitely, yeah. And we're seeing that these AI tools have a problem with integration, right? The moment you start to export, we actually saw it last week with napkin.ai. Their export itself is actually still not good. We're seeing the import here from Relume is actually not good. The export itself are really not good. So anytime we see that we need to integrate, that's where the problem comes. If you actually work in a nice little wall garden and you're just by yourself, things seems to work really, really, really well. All right.
So it's like having a Ferrari. It's like having a Ferrari with no keys. You have this incredibly fast engine to build the layout, but if you don't know how to style it or drive the design home, you're just sitting in a generic unpainted car. So like anything else, it's cool. Remember the iPhone 1? Everybody thought it was cool. Would you use an iPhone 1 today? Of course not. It'll get better over time.
Exactly. All right, yeah, Johnny.
What do you say we get to the pricing ladder?
Sure, love it. All right, so let's talk about the pricing. So I'm going to drop again for those who are actually in the live stream joining late or who are in the Zoom chat, actually, so they can follow along. So Relume, this website that can actually build websites, with just a prompt. If you have the ability to, you can see they have a really generous free tier. And when I say generous, it's one project, one page, and you can share a read-only link to that one tier. So technically, if you want to just play around and see what it looks like, you can see exactly what it looks like. Everything. It has 30 React components, if you understand what technically that means, and it has thousands of Figma components to be able to go there. So it's great if you want to just explore and see what it is, but you can't actually generate anything much larger than that on the free tier. All right.
One project, one page. That's within the margin of error of 0 projects, 0 pages. How did we even get our demo done with that limitation? Did you pay them?
No. So this is still in the edit phase. There is no, I didn't actually move to the actual production phase. So the thing is, here's one thing, guys. A lot of companies itself have a one pager, and that one pager is just a one pager that actually has like the enough information, and sometimes it's only just a text box to capture their email address. So these landing pages itself are not actually that unpopular. So these one pagers itself does work for a very small use case. All right, but AI Johnny, let's talk about the actual second, the Relume starter plan.
One project, 5 pages. Let me see what we have here. Pricing. Why don't you talk about the second tier?
Of course. So in
There it
Relume,
is.
it's a Relume
The
starter
sweet
itself.
spot.
We actually have yeah, Johnny, sorry. You want to go ahead?
The side hustler, is that what we're doing? $32 to $38 a month
Yep.
for one project with 5 pages, $38 a month.
Yeah.
Multiple projects up to a certain page limit, full access to export to Figma and Webflow using their massive library. I guess they're the first one to the party. They get a lot of customers. I guess they're trying to maximize on that. Seems like a lot of money.
It is very
I know it's not a
expensive.
lot. If I have a web developer, it would be a lot more than that. But
You're right.
Jesus, $38 a month.
You're right. Now, if you actually want to get into the really nice developing everything, you don't have to worry, with no, caps. You have to actually really go for the Relume Pro. And that Pro itself unlocks the unlimited projects, unlimited pages, and you get to actually export Figma, Webflow, React, and then thousands of components, thousands of Figma components, thousands of React components, and you get all of that. And that's really for the full-time freelancer. So if you're building websites for multiple places, this is probably where you want to be. And I don't know why the price is not loading. Let's see. Maybe it's too large. Interesting. This is not loading now. Maybe it's too large. Let's zoom out a little bit. Look at that. Little bug on their site. Let me remove the yearly discount and see if that matters. Look at that. It will not load. Maybe they're giving everything away for
My
free.
notes say $40 a month, but that can't be right.
It's correct.
But for a few, to go from go ahead.
It's correct. It's correct.
So to go from such limitations as the dabbler or the side hustler to unlimited at $40 a month, if you're planning to pay, of course you'd pay.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you can be in the business of making websites for others. You can make unlimited websites.
Exactly. So yeah, Johnny, I was able to bring up the actual pricing. I had to go to incognito. So they seem to have a little bit of issue on loading it non-incognito mode. All right. Yeah, Johnny. So let's go a little bit deeper. So we want to explain on the technical side a little bit something that's actually really important. Yeah, Johnny, you want to kick us off?
Okay. Yeah. If you don't care about back-end magic, Junior, what is under the hood? What advanced or really technical things are possible that I should know about? I want the high-level wow factor here.
Yeah. So
go for it, brother. Confuse me.
Yeah, so again, this is an AI show, and just showing off the tech itself is impressive. We taught you guys one specific things, but I usually like to give a little bit of behind the scenes to see what's really going on. So I want to explain a little bit about this transformer architecture. So GPT, the T is the transformer. So the reason why Relume can instantly generate context-aware copy and layout is because of what's known as the transformer architecture. So all large language models currently are actually built off this transformer architecture. So there are next generation thoughts and research projects to try to solve what the next generation should be. So think of the transformer architecture as a system that doesn't just read words left to right. It looks at the entire sentence at once to understand the context and relationship between words and elements. So if you're here at yesterday's show, we actually talked about why does the computational resources go up exponentially when you actually add more data to the context. So we're kind of continuing. So if you actually did miss yesterday's episode, sign up for a pro account and you can actually go back and look at the older episode. All right. So when you actually say something like, create me a website for a robotics club, it knows that a robotics club indirectly knows that a club means more than one people. It's not talking about a bacon sandwich, right? It's not talking about some kind of, it knows that there's multiple people and it needs a team section. And it says, I need an event section rather than, say, for example, a menu section at a restaurant to show that there is a bacon-based club, robotics club, right? So it actually understands semantics. So this is the transformer architecture. The problem with the transformer architecture is that it's the more data you give it computationally squared, right? So it's just too expensive. So what happened is they try to keep you down to one page. And they say, if you want to go more than one page, you need to pay for it. Because if you notice, we just said, give us 5 pages, and it actually exploded into a lot of resources. So semantically, HTML and React nodes, when you export from Relume to React, it isn't just spitting out, absolute position. It actually generates a clean semantic code, proper with proper nodes. It knows how to open the tags, close the tags, and it's actually dynamic and responsive and more friendly. It just means that the inference of the AI makes about the layout translate directly into developer-friendly environments. So anyway, long story short, it's a client-first framework. So Relume is built heavily around standardized CSS, naming conventions. So if you understand things like these, it will make you as a developer your life much, much easier because you get the source code, you get to see what's spit out, and you can go ahead and modify all using this transformer architecture that Relume has done a really great job in using the large language model to translate from requirements out to actual a fully built website. So I'm really impressed with this one. All right, yeah, Johnny, did anybody fall asleep?
I wasn't following 100%, but I am following along that there's a lot of code behind the scenes.
Definitely. All right, what are some key takeaways, yeah, Johnny?
Well, here are 3 takeaways that you can use on the business side. So client alignment, you can show the wireframe instantly to a client so that they can focus on the flow, not the colors of the fonts. As a former website developer, this is a pretty big deal. Like, what do you want your website to be? And then you give them, maybe you can give them more than one wireframe and say, look, this is a couple of ideas on how we think your website should flow. Let them look at it, let them decide so that they like the actual flow of the website before they start choosing pictures and fonts and colors and so on. So that whole client alignment thing is a great feature. Fast quoting, right? Use the generic sitemap to quickly estimate the scope of work and the price the project built before it. Yesterday, I talked about how I would buy websites and they would tell me that we're going to build a website that's got 8 pages and it's going to cost $1,500. And guess what? When they show up, guess how many pages there are? 9. Oh, you fell into the second tier, brother. It's $3,000. So that's no good. Fast quoting gives you a way to make the client and the website developer both be on the same page. And finally, content collection. Hand the generated placeholder copy to the client and say, place this text. So instead of waiting for weeks for them to write the entire text that's going to be on their website, you can give them placeholders so they only have to write these little pieces and piecemeal. They can knock that out in an afternoon. So it speeds things up, even if you're held back by the fact that your client has to provide some of the copy because they don't want you writing it. So those are the 3 business side things. What do we have on the technical side, JR?
Yeah, so this is the part that I know my technical people are going to really, really love. So anytime you build a website, most people don't think about this, but it actually has you have to actually build it for 5 layouts. You have to build it for the mobile screen, the medium screen, the small screen, the large screen, the extra large, and sometimes even the extra, extra large screen. So what happens is this is called responsive design. So this actually has built in a instant auto layout. So it has the ability to, manually set the padding and flexbox rules. So you get that beautiful website no matter what form factor you're on. So those things you don't even have to think about. The next thing is React boilerplate. Oh my gosh, the amount of boilerplate in React that I've been writing since 7 years now for React, or maybe 10 years now for React, is that you don't have to worry about writing React boilerplate. You get to export those components directly into your React code, and you just start your web app front end just like that. The next thing is Webflow class sync. So paste directly into Webflow if you're using that tool. It syncs with your existing CSS classes, and you don't have to worry about CSS bloat where you have a million CSS files to try to tackle things on. It works with a really, really nice global CSS. So if you're using things like themes, if you like dark mode, you can swap over relatively quickly. I love these features. Yeah, Johnny, what do we have for questions? Actually, hold on. Let's go to Zoom in case anybody have any questions on the Zoom side.
I've got a question on the Zoom side, brother.
All right,
actually.
Go ahead.
One is a comment, instant auto layout. You talked about having responsive websites that work on small, medium size, large size, and extra large size. But the best part about responsive is that they work on both portrait and landscape. So if it works on your phone, you turn your phone sideways, it's going to restructure your website, and a responsive website would work for that as well. That's a huge thing. And this React boilerplate, I'm sorry, brother, you missed me. This whole idea of the React code to kickstart your web apps front end. What is a web apps front end? Why do you have to kickstart it?
Johnny, I love that. So, Facebook created this amazing framework called React, maybe about 10 years ago. Again, don't quote me on the time, but it actually changed the way we actually develop websites. And because it changed the way we develop websites, to get it to work, you have to actually fit it in its own little way of putting React tags, and you have to actually put hooks, and you have to actually do a whole bunch of things to it. Now, before you actually do all those things, you have to set up the entire library and for it to actually work. Those are the boilerplate stuff that's really annoying. Just to actually get to it working, to get one component working, you need to do a little bit of extra work. All of that is actually done for you. It's written all the functional components, so you don't have to worry. You just copy paste it over and you get it. So it's a bit of like
Got it. Yeah, it's the tedious plug and chug stuff, much like adding meta tags or whatever. It does that automatically for you. And I'm not saying it involves meta tags, but what I'm saying is it's the tedious work of web development. It removes that, it takes that off your plate.
Exactly. All right. Does anybody have
Cool.
any question in the Zoom chat? If not, we're gonna go to the live stream. Anybody have any questions in the live stream? Yeah, Johnny?
Yeah, I've got some questions. Let's see. Pixel Pusher says, I've never built a website. Can I just use Relume and be done? I think I know the answer to that.
Yeah, so not quite. So Relume is just going to be able to build a skeleton. You still need a tool like Webflow, Figma, or a developer to add the additional things like the brand colors, and then you have to be able to publish it. So these AI tools are really great at giving you just a housing and a shell. We have to take it from your local machine or their website off to actually someplace like AI Johnny mentioned, like Amazon Web Services or Blue Ocean or somewhere that actually hosts websites. And you can then, you'd have to actually solve that problem. No, if I were Relume, I think they probably are going to say, hey, one button click, pay us $10 for hosting. That isn't there yet, but it gives you the starter that you actually need. Great question.
Bummer. Developer has a question. Does the AI optimize the components for SEO and accessibility?
These are the things that are called non-functional requirements. And anytime you're building software, the first thing that people always think about is only the functional requirements. What can the application do? They almost never think about the non-functional requirements. But what happens is there's maybe 80% of the work is non-functional requirements. So this question I really like. So a person's asking is about SEO, search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is just a non-functional requirement where when a crawler like Google crawls your website, does it actually get all the information needed to put that pretty picture, that tag, that description? So when you're browsing Google, your site looks like it's really, really pretty and was actually made to import all the data from Google. So fortunately, Relume has done that work for you. So all their components itself is search engine optimized. So all the outputs itself, if you're using Bing or if you're using Google, does have all that search engine optimization built in. Great question again. Anything else? Yeah, Johnny?
Okay. Nope. Right to the news, brother.
All right. So let's go to the news. This one's actually huge, actually. Yeah, Johnny? Let's read the first one.
Manus supports computer use. Is this for me? The highly anticipated Manus AI agent just rolled out an update that allows it to natively support and execute computer use. I think I saw this morning. It can actually take control of the desktop environment to complete complex multi-step workflows across different applications autonomously. Just this morning, it asked me for your password so that it could get in and do some tweaking. So I just threw it over the wall and it's done.
Yeah, I see Shauna actually laughing. Yeah, Johnny, this is actually pretty huge. Manus is an AI agent. It's an agentic operator that can actually do things in its own browser. Manus just released, only just yesterday, the ability to use a computer. So it actually has the ability to use your mouse and keyboard and use your browser just as if you were sitting at a computer and talking to a prompt, because that integration portion of building anything is the hard piece, and getting that computer use is actually pretty huge. Love it, yeah, Johnny. What's the next one?
Behold, the Lord Sam Altman declares the Transformer era is dead. In a shocking statement, the The OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, just announced that the current generation of transformer architecture is effectively dead and has hit its scaling limits. He hinted that the industry is rapidly moving entirely towards new foundational paradigms for the next leap in AI reasoning. Betcha OpenAI has a big hand in that.
Yeah. So I just want to mention people. So ever since GPT, which is OpenAI's, their Chat GPT, the T again is the transformer model. It's actually really important foundational breakthrough that we actually had about 5 or so years ago. And what happened was because of this GPT technology, we realized that if we keep throwing computational resources at it, we actually get smarter and smarter AIs. The problem is we don't have enough energy in the planet to be able to exponentially scale to artificial general intelligence or artificial super intelligence. So at some point in time, we have to think of abandoning the transformer model. And I do agree with him that conceptually, as we saw yesterday, the more context size you actually put, it actually is exponential growth. So I just realistically, you just can't go beyond. So his prediction is that the transformer era that we've had for the last 5 years is dead. Now, what is the next generation? I've actually seen multiple, next generation levels. Nothing has actually stood out to me as being a front runner, but I'm sure there's going to be something that is next generation in the large language model that will probably give us at least linear scalability, not exponential. I do like this AI, Johnny.
Wow, that's wild. Meta's uses Meta's custom silicon. Meta announces new in-house AI chips to reduce their reliance on NVIDIA. They want to power their own generative AI, inferencing directly with their data centers.
Yeah, so Nvidia actually is worth, I think, $4 trillion right now. They are the bottleneck for, GPUs and chips to be able to run inferencing. So all these companies are making their own. We see Google making their own inferencing chips. We see, Facebook, like they say, making their own inferencing. So I'm not surprised that they're making all these things to try to not depend on Nvidia's chips. Now, Nvidia's is the best, which is why the United States government blocked the high-end chips from going to China, but China eventually figured out a way how to make it much cheaper and faster on less hardware. So I do love that, AI Johnny. All right, AI Johnny, let's wrap up.
Okay, Transformers are dead. That's pretty wild. Right after the show, I'm going to use Relume to map out a 10-page wireframe for my dog's chew toy review blog, and I'm going to have it done before my coffee gets cold. Real quick, to the team at Relume, we know you're watching. Our students are hungry to master this. If you want to partner with Airhead Institute to create the ultimate Mastering Relume series, we are here. Just join us tomorrow on Friday for our Humanity 2.0 series, the No Jobs edition. We are talking about the automation paradox, why humans will still choose to work, build, and struggle even when machines can do it all for us. It's going to be a deep thinker. Over to you, AI Junior.
All right, guys, we see the reactions in the Zoom chat. Love it. Thank you, guys. Also in the live stream, thank you guys for joining. So if you actually are here for the first time, don't forget, since today is Thursday, tonight is Shauna's Bible study at 7 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to actually join, head over to smgaunt.org/Bible study to actually sign up for this show tonight. It's actually going to be a really great episode. If you want to see older episodes of the Airhead Institute AI shows at 12, sign up for a pro member account at airheadinstitute.ai, and you can RSVP to all our shows to get reminders. Catch you guys tomorrow. Later.
That wraps up today's AI Power Up. If you joined late or you're new here, welcome to Airhead Institute. This is your daily destination for mastering artificial intelligence. We designed this lineup for everyone, whether you're a technical pro looking to upskill or you just want to chill and learn something new on your lunch break, we've got you covered. Our classes evolve every single month, so you're always on the cutting edge. And the best part? It's totally free to join. Once you're in, you can get live tips on your AI projects in our AI office hours and even enroll your kids in our Airhead After School program. Scan the QR code to join the community right now and make sure to like and subscribe at Airhead Institute on all socials. Guided by your hosts AI Junior and AI Johnny, we're here to help you win. Remember, AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI will. Don't get left behind. We'll see you next class. Bring a friend.